Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And Famous Dave.
All right, now on to the very, very last part of this final. Episode 16, This is the End. It would have been great if we could have saw James Franco or Seth Rogen, Danny McBride, anyone from the original cast to show up for this episode, right?
That was a great movie. This
Jonah
is the end.
Hill, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But fuck that Jay guy.
Not even Matt Sarah? Jay.
Oh, that's Sarah. Matt Sarah.
Michael Sarah.
I was like,
Michael
that's a
Cera.
UFC fighter you're talking about.
The guy from Arrested Development. He was there until he
Paul
wasn't.
Rudd. Anyways, we're getting way off track here. So we're going to start off where we left off, Tribunal. Theo votes in Hunter.
Wes votes in Kara.
Which I liked. Because I'm like, she is a threat, I mean...
I figured you had to vote in the biggest threat, and I thought that was Ninja. Because Kara didn't get the IV bag. Hunter, he was gassing out and could barely make it. He seemed like Hunter was just at his end. It seemed like.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Kara's not taking the IV bag. Hunter's out of it. I'm like, Ninja is the biggest threat of the three. You should vote for Ninja. But Wes goes with Kara.
Well, okay, so do you think Theo and Turbo were just like, we want to play this game straight up. We're just going to get rid of the person we think doesn't have a shot. Let the best compete against the best. Get rid of Hunter, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. There wasn't much reason for why they voted for Hunter. I think they kind of just felt bad and they didn't want to vote in a girl.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They couldn't do that?
I don't know. Wes didn't care, though. He's like, I'm voting in a girl.
Then Carl would be like, woman, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, so now Hunter, he has to choose between Ninja and Kara. Who did you think he was going to choose?
I had no idea. I was leaning towards Ninja, and that's who he picked.
Yeah.
I don't know. There wasn't. He said it was a super hard decision for him, and he didn't know he was going to go with. And I'm like, there's not like a really right or wrong answer because you don't know what the elimination is. You don't know what you have to do.
It's true. But he does say, I'm going to respect the vets.
Yeah. And because he knows that Kara, he's going to be with Kara in future seasons, most likely. So try not to anger somebody if you don't have to, if there's no real reason behind it.
Is he on the next season? I don't think he is.
No.
Kara is, but he's not.
Yeah.
And Kara retires this episode.
Oh, yeah. But then she comes back.
Yeah. I LOL'd all over my J's. So anyways, Hunter picks Ninja, and it's going to be... I think it's called Walk Tiny. Anyways, it's production. They're like, holy shit, we spent a fortune on this goddamn monster truck. Bring it back, because that first time we used it was completely dull and worthless, So they bring in the monster truck again. But it's kind of stupid and wasteful because you don't see it. It's at night. The best part of this elimination is that you see the giant beams of light going across the desert while they're being pulled. You don't actually see the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, it was there. There was like ropes, these big green ropes attached to it, but you couldn't even tell it was there.
Yeah.
They just have to hold on to the ropes, and then just whoever can hold on to the rope and walk tiny as far as they can before somebody gives up. And I'm like, okay, well, it's nighttime. They're going to go till the morning. So I'm like, this could go on for like 8 hours. Who knows? And it's basically until somebody gives up.
Yeah. Which, it was Hunter. He was like, everything hurts. Everything's just breaking down. But Ninja, I mean, she just needed 5 minutes with the medics. And they're like, you're fine. And she's like, I'll take that to heart and live by it and die by it. I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah. And they're like, Ninja was fine. And like Hunter, yeah, he was cramping up. He could barely move at that point. His legs were giving out on him. And you know what? Like, standing 3 feet away from Ninja would make me want to give up too. Because she's so annoying. And Kara was talking about how annoying she is. Everyone thinks that Ninja is annoying. And having to walk 3 feet away from her, I'd be like, yeah, I tap out. I give up. I'm like, I don't want to be next to Ninja anymore. Just get me out of here. Get me on the next plane out of here.
And Ninja was fine. I mean, she would have done fine because as soon as Hunter gave up, Ninja continued to hold onto the rope and walk.
I know. I was like, why did Ninja not just let go of the rope right after Hunter did? She won. Instead, she's still holding on to him and walking until like someone's like, "Hey, it's over. You're done." So Ninja shows back up. Hunter's gone. See you later. He's in 6th place.
Yeah.
Now we're down to 5. So Ninja shows back up to all the depleted other people who are left.
Kara is like, fuck Ninja.
I don't even want to look at her right now. She's got like her head down, her hoodie's pulled over. Kara just hates Ninja, and it's just like, what? Where's this? Yeah. I'm like, when did this start?
And I love this part when they're like, we don't know who's gonna come back, and then Ninja's like, hey guys, and then Kara's like, this broad.
This broad.
And I'm like, aren't you like? Isn't broad sort of like talking down to women, like that term that was used back in the day, like if fucking you skirt, you're a broad, you know, you dizzy dame, you know, that sort of stuff. And Kara's always just like, I am Wonder Woman. She even dresses like Wonder Woman on occasions, you know?
Yeah. She's supposed to be a role model, but
yeah,
she kind of just, you know, says fuck you to anybody without any reason, doesn't like Ninja.
Which is fine. You could be you could have people looking up to you, but if you're being looked up to as being like, oh, she's doing so much for women's, you know, shit, and then you turn it to a girl that you don't like for some reason and says, this broad over here. Oh, I did.
Kara's a little two-faced. She acts all sanctimonious at times and acts like she's the best. Gets super upset when people treat her wrong, but she's free to treat anybody wrong herself.
Yeah, exactly. So they sleep in the pain locker. Not really much to say there, I think.
Yeah, there's no food. Yeah. They just sit there in these uncomfortable chairs. Yeah. And then, they spend the night there, and then it's morning.
Time for trivia.
Yeah, trivia.
A, B, and C in the ground. Giant ropes. Step in one of them and choose. Which is, it's a spin on a classic trivia game, but it kind of, I mean, I don't know. It's just that when you're doing a puzzle, wouldn't you rather just like, I could choose whatever and no one's going to see me and copy off of me, you know?
Yeah, that was the problem with it, is ask a question and then everyone kind of just looks at the other people and is like, well I'm going to pick what they pick.
The other three were just paying attention to Kara and Wes. They're just like, what's Wes going to do? What's Kara going to do? You know? Kara picked one circle and they were like, what was Wes going to go here? You know? So Wes actually, I think he psyched someone out to just go on A instead of B. Both times the answer is B, by the way. That was a little weird.
Yeah. And he got Ninja was wrong on the first question.
What was it? It was like a bunch of cities. Did you write that down?
I
want to check your spelling too. It better be right.
I don't think I spelt him right, but he asked like the cities of Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata all are in which country? Bangladesh, India, or Spain?
Oh, and now would you have known? I knew that it wasn't
I picked
Spain.
Bangladesh.
I knew it wasn't Spain.
Yeah, I was like Bangladesh or India. I'm like one of those two.
I think I did pick Bangladesh. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like Bangladesh. I don't really know because I'm like India is a huge country with tons of people. I'm like I don't think I know one city in India.
Now this was interesting to me because Bangladesh rang in my ears. I'm like, why do I know that? Because that's where Zahida's from.
Oh.
And I'm wondering if they were like, let's throw her a bone if she gets to the final. You know what I mean?
Much like you'd like to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, bone. By the way, Zahida is in next season. She's coming back. That's awesome.
Challenge 34, I think.
Yeah. Good stuff. Great stuff.
So question number 2 is...
Oh, wait. Hold on, though. Ninja is out of the running because she picked Bangladesh. I just say this because I watched our competitors after Buzz TV, and they got that wrong. They're like, why? Ninja didn't even bother the second time. Like, at least pick one answer. You're just going to sit there and say, like, no, I'm too good for that. Like,
I said that?
Yeah, they were going.
No, you get one question wrong, you're eliminated.
You
said it in the rules. It was very clearly stated.
What I should have done was just type that in the comments, but instead I'm giving them a shout out and talking about it on my own podcast. That's all it is.
We're gonna throw shade at that podcast. What's their name again? No, don't promote them.
Right. Okay, so largest river in the world, right? Yeah. Amazon, Nile, or Mississippi. I didn't even consider Mississippi. It was down to Amazon and the Nile, and I kind of went with Amazon.
I went with Amazon as well.
What does that say about us?
I think that means we're right. TJ says it's the Nile. Everybody picks Amazon except for Kara picks the Nile.
Right.
And like Wes was standing in between the two, like juking him out. Like, oh, which one are you gonna go with?
And then Kara's like, what? Nobody's got any balls around here but me, you know?
Oh, strong Boston accent.
Balls, yeah. Anyways, Kara wins overall. She gets to go into the dune buggy and skip a mile worth of dunes.
Yeah. So, okay, I watched like a 15-minute video on YouTube that debates what river is the largest, the Nile or the Amazon.
Okay.
And the conclusion of the video is that there is no correct answer because you can't just simply measure a river because it's like a rope almost. It zigzags everywhere. And where do you place the actual origin of the river? Because there's tons of other rivers that are flowing into that river that make it. There's not one set starting point for either river. So it's very disputed as to which one is longer. They're very close. Like if you just Google it, it will tell you the Nile by like 100 miles or 80 miles or something. But after watching this YouTube video where it describes it, it was like, you can't simply just measure, what are you measuring, the coastline? Like what point are you starting from and ending at? Like the ending point is obvious, but the starting point is very hotly contested and debated because they have different starting points. So it's there's no real right or wrong answer. And when TJ asked the question, I immediately thought of this YouTube video that I watched last year, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, this is tough. I'm like, to me, it's maybe I would say the Amazon because it's a little bit wider in girth and there's more water running through it. But the Nile, it might have it's thinner and maybe a little longer. But which one are you going to give it to?
The longer one.
But it says largest. He doesn't say the longest. He says the largest. And if you're a river, it's like, how much water are you carrying? That's larger.
That's a really
good wider.
Point.
It's carrying more water.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
Like which of these shovels is larger? You're gonna go with the one that's the longest or the one that's the widest for a shovel? You know.
Neither. I'm white collar. You're blue collar. You shovel it. Is that the answer?
No, I pay the city to come and plow it.
Okay, so now Kara does win this very controversial. I didn't know that. That's crazy. That's interesting.
Controversial to me.
That's almost like saying soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire? Yeah. Worcestershire?
I only know that's controversial because I included it in my own challenge final. Where I had you were blindfolded, you had to drink it and guess what it was, or you had to explain it to your partner and they had to guess what you were drinking. And it was controversial because they said soy sauce, but the bottle actually said Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah.
But it's so commonly confused, used either way by everyone, it doesn't really matter. It's almost like Anthony from the Caesar thing and Antony. It's the same, you know what I mean? Like no one cares anymore if it's Anthony or Antony. I had to think of Caesar.
And soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce is like, they're both just like this brown liquid that is super salty.
Yeah.
Like number one ingredient is salt.
Yeah.
So like when you taste it, it just tastes like salt. So it's like you can't even discern a taste out of it because like if you put it on as a topping onto like a piece of meat or some rice, then you might be able to taste the flavor in it, but it's standalone, it's the same. But yeah.
So Kara gets she gets to skip a mile.
I
of the
know,
dunes.
and I was like, this is a saving grace for Kara because she didn't take the IV the night before to replenish liquids. So this is really going to be helpful because I didn't feel like she's going to have a whole lot of cardio going forward. So it was a big help to her.
Yeah, but it's crazy because she has this huge like victory when she does win. She's like trying to twerk.
Yeah, dancing around.
This
She's
twerking
happy.
isn't quite working. But
Cam
then
would have done it better.
she also flips everyone off, and she says bitches and shit like that. I'm like, okay, take
Tone
it
it
easy
down.
there.
Theo does that
a
later.
little bit. Does he? The bitches?
Yeah. No, he flips Turbo off.
Yeah, but that was a little different. That wasn't not a victory. That was like, hey, you're winning. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I think it's
that
different.
Was, right after the eating thing, I think.
Right. And so anyways, Kara zipped to a Connect 4, basically.
Yep. And then it says you have to wait for the next competitor to show up. And it was like, oh, I'm like, that was kind of an equalizer. It's like you don't have to go through that endurance, so you're going to have more energy. But the time is, you're not getting any time. You're just getting energy spent. So, yeah, it's like she's not getting a time advantage. She has the puzzle, the Connect 4 to do against the first person who shows up. And that first person is?
Turbo.
Yeah.
Shows up. Turbo beats her at Connect 4. And I don't know. She'll continue to lose to Theo, then Ninja, But after a while, like this is another moment where she's kind of breaking down again.
Yeah.
She's crying,
At first, yeah, because Turbo beat her quickly, and then Theo took a little bit longer, but he beat her rather quickly. And then against Natalie, it was a very long game. They put in lots of balls, and Karis ends up losing again.
You cut
and
the tension with a knife.
Yeah,
those two don't like each other.
Yeah.
They're just like, don't fucking touch my shoulder. They don't
At this
say
point,
that.
Kara goes into tears after she loses there. And then Wes finally shows up. And this is why like we say that Wes has poor endurance and he isn't fast. Like, he was the last out of, Theo, Turbo, Natalie. Then Wes is finally there. And Wes is spent. He's tired. And Kara beats Wes rather quickly. And if you look at where the balls were, I feel like Wes just threw it on purpose. I feel like Wes let her win because Wes didn't want to just, beat her, have her wait 5 minutes to get a 5-minute head start. Wes was like, I'm gonna lose. I'll take a 5-minute timeout penalty, and I'm just gonna recuperate because Wes needed to. He like he's barely holding on. He's like conserving his energy as much as he can.
Too much. We should call him from west to rest. How about that?
Yeah. he is resting at every opportunity because he does not have the endurance.
I'll just, in broad strokes, I'll just say his performance reminds me of CT's performance in a sense in Dirty 30. Remember, CT is amazing. He's a great finalist, but he was going against Jordan and Derek. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you think of those two guys, like CT did his best. Well, he was also in high elevation, but he wasn't in the best shape. But we have Wes, who's in great shape, but he is literally going against two world-class athletes in Turbo and legitimately acknowledged as an athlete, an Olympian in Theo. So my hat goes off to Wes. I'm like, and he's a little bit older, right?
Yeah, he's probably 10 years older than them.
10 years. Jesus
I think
Christ.
Wes is 35. I think Theo and Turbo are 25.
I want to say Wes. I think Wes is younger than me by like a year or something like that.
Okay.
Or something like that. But
35,
I think Turbo is in his 30s though. 35. Oh no,
I'm calling you 35.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you're 30.
I'm in that range. I'm just saying, Wes is probably in the best shape of his life, but he's also just older, and he's going against this crazy, crazy competition.
Yeah, Wes has never been an endurance runner or a runner at all.
But I was gonna say, you were saying like, oh, he's slow and he has no stamina. I would say he's fast. He was really fast in Rivals and Rivals 2. That was by far his fastest performances.
In Rivals too, he was fast at the eating and the puzzles and stuff like that.
But they also had to run those laps, you know?
Yeah, but he was going at CT's pace, so he didn't have to go all out.
It's a good. Oh my god! What? Jesus Christ! All right. Well, what else do we have? So yeah, Wes is rest. Now this was a crazy fucking moment. This might be the moment where we it decides the winner overall. Seriously,
They get to the food challenge.
Turbo gets to the food challenge, and you could either choose to eat whatever you want, or and distribute everything else to everyone else. You know.
Yep.
And he chooses not to eat. He gives most of the food to Theo and Wes and some stuff to the ladies, you know?
Yeah, mostly like Wes had the most, and then Theo had the second most. And then the girls split the rest.
And this is just a huge lead because I don't think Kara finishes. It would be nice to know because she finishes first out of the people that have to eat. Then Theo, then Ninja, then Wes. But Theo, when he finishes, he says, it took like 25 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a huge chunk of time.
Yeah.
Huge chunk. I mean, and remember, Theo and Turbo and Wes, the top three, they were divided by some minutes.
Some minutes. Refer to your note card.
Oh, God. Everything's falling apart. What does it say? Okay, so 5 hours, 34 minutes was Theo, and then 5 hours, 58 minutes. So what's the difference there between
24 minutes between Theo and Turbo.
So
First place and third place, 24 minutes.
Turbo could have just locked him up right there.
Yeah.
Or, you know, yeah.
And I thought that was a huge mistake by Turbo. Here, Turbo's been amazing the entire time, but this food, it wasn't like gross, disgusting food that you would see on the challenge.
Him to eat?
Yeah. I didn't want him to eat a whole lot, but I still thought your body needs some nourishment.
Yeah, just something.
Because you're so depleted. I'm like, eat a banana. It's got potassium. It's got sugar. Your muscles need potassium. You need salt and potassium to make the nerves in your muscles work. I'm like, you need those electrolytes. That's what's in Gatorade, potassium and sodium. I'm like, eat the banana. Just one banana. And he's like, nope, I'll pass it up. And I'm like, dude.
Like, no, too phallic.
Yeah.
I know want.
He's like, no, I make them eat. And it was just like a banana. I'm like, you can chomp that down. If Jenna was in this final, she would have just, boom, swallowed it. Like nothing.
Jenna hates eating shit. All right, well, it was crazy, though, because it's like, well, Turbo, this entire season, when it comes to going all out to win, he does. It's almost dangerous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like in that hurricane challenge with the balls, like where they bring him up against the hurricane winds. At the end of it, he's just spent, and they're like putting oxygen on him, and he's like, "How many balls did I win?" And he's like almost dying because he like couldn't breathe. Like that kind of tipped me off. So like maybe Turbo has no endurance. And when he's not eating this banana here or anything, I'm like, Turbo, you're trusting your body too much. I'm like, your body will fail you. I'm like, I know you have the mind of a champion, but your body does not always cooperate.
That's why I want to know his age, because he seems older. He seems like he might be in his 30s, maybe even mid-30s, something like that. Because he's got this body that he's pushing so hard, but it's almost like old man strength, maybe? I don't know. Like, he used to be like this crazy super athlete when he was younger. Now he's older, but he's now pushing his body, where his body's like, dude, I'm fucking 34. I'm 35,
I don't think he's that old. I think he's like 25. I think he's a young buck. I think that beard...
Let's look it up before the end of this episode, all right?
Hides the baby face.
I need to know.
You start talking. I'm going to Google Turbo's age.
Yeah, I should start talking. Yeah. Said the co-host to the main host.
That's right. I can give you something to do. You're giving me homework, really. I'm going to do the homework while you can take the stage.
Okay, well, going back to the eating thing, Cara's like, hey, I'm fucking Italian. Bada boom.
She just annihilated that food.
She did well.
But she did have, like, one of the least amounts.
Yeah, exactly. And then followed by Theo, and that's when he's like, man, it's fucking, 25-minute lead. Then followed by Ninja, and Wes, again, is last. He has to wait 5 minutes,
He had
He's
the
on the
most food to
ground.
eat too.
Yeah, he's on the ground and he's like I almost feel like I'm gonna pass out. I don't want to give up, but I'm thinking about it and shit. And I was truly scared as a West fan. I was like, please do not give up. Just keep going because hey, he mentioned it to Theo and Georgia. Like you could get picked on and bullied and slandered and libeled for a decade if you suck in a final. Because rivals won. So I was like, don't give up, man. Don't fucking give up. I was truly scared, but he didn't. He finished his food and started to run. Okay, so now this is the craziest part, where they're in the sand dunes in Turbo. We almost all of us kind of think they're done because that's when they're coming down the hill. Turbo had his shoes on his hands at first, that he throws them, and then he does that. What would you call it?
It was like a gallop
Like a
almost.
gallop on all
Yeah.
fours.
Yeah, it was, like a horse would gallop, but it was Turbo. Turbo, you said he's like 35, I said he's 25. He's 30. Split the difference.
Wow.
Yeah, he's 30. He's right in the middle.
I had a feeling he was in his 30s. There's something told me.
It was 29, 30.
Smell our own.
It was by like a couple months. Like he barely made.
So yeah, I mean, hey, let's just say, without just giving away our ages, the body doesn't work quite the same once you're in your 30s, right?
No,
really
I'm peaking right now, man. I don't care that I'm 30.
I can see that. Please put a cushion over your lap. I don't want
Wow. I've been peaking long and hard.
But I just
gonna
feel
have
like
to get used to it.
that's why I feel like we have these moments where Turbo's body is just failing him. But he's just like, I don't care how old I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he does. He does have that wisdom to him, and that's what I think you're speaking to, is that wisdom that he has. Where he's pushing himself like crazy, but we don't know like the type of like he's built. He's very athletic. Like I think he's very dedicated. The clips I've seen from Survivor Turkey, he is just insanely good. Like just phenomenal. Like physical challenges, he was incredible. So I think for this, like he was obviously prepared for it, and he knows what he's capable of. And us as a viewer watching it, we're like, Turbo, you can't do this. So like, this is too much. But Turbo knows that he can fucking do it.
Yeah, that's just fucking nuts. So, anyways, I want to get to the part where they're on to the next portion because it's a psych out. It's actually not done. This is sort of a complaint where it's like they're gonna do certain stuff, then they're gonna stop, get into the pain locker, drive somewhere.
They go into the pain locker again.
Yeah.
They drive to the next portion. But it kind of makes sense because what they're doing is so physically grueling. They do need to get in the shade and kind of recuperate a little bit. Drink out of their camelbacks. Just have some water.
Have some IV. You think they tried to stick them with IVs again? No, probably
Only
not.
the cheaters.
Yeah, wasn't that... I remember Mayweather getting shit because he replenished himself with an IV against Pacquiao, and you weren't supposed to do that. So now the challenge itself... Something like that, yeah. And the challenge itself is like, well, you're gonna cheat,
Paulo Costa did that for his fight with somebody. I don't remember.
Really?
Yeah, there's a photo on the internet. He's in the hotel room with an IV bag, and like, that's against UFC rules. You can't... After the weigh-ins, you can't replenish yourself with an IV bag because it's too much of an advantage.
Wow.
It helps you that much. Not to Cara, though.
And Cara didn't really... Did she need it? Was that, is that going to seal her fate? We all know why she ends up not doing not winning. Spoilers. But do you think overall that IV...
Perhaps, if she had a little bit more fluid in her brain would have worked better and she would have been able to do math more.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's right.
She would have been able to do math more better.
Math more better. I wish she... You know what? That's the saving grace. I just realized this. If Cara Maria could really get her Boston accent down, I would probably be able to... I can't do it now. But, I would probably tolerate her a little bit more. Could you imagine that? If she's like... because she's got to drop her R's. You're dropping your ass. So Kyle...
It's only when she's angry. But then Anissa called her out on it, and she stopped it ever since.
Yeah, that was one
Cara has stopped her accent ever since Anissa called her out on it, saying it was fake. Apparently, Anissa was right.
Yeah, holy shit. Okay,
Yeah, so they go to the pain locker, and then they drive him to the ocean.
Yes.
And then TJ's there. He's like, all right, this is like the final leg of the final. He's like, you're going to run 5 miles. It's like, Jesus Christ. More running. And Kara makes a line. Like, we're going to run, and then we're going to run some more. Sprinkling some running. Add a little more running on top.
Yeah.
With the topic of running. So they got to run 5 more miles. And then after that 5 miles, then they go through like this little winding thing of these signs. These white signs.
Flashcards.
Yeah. With like, it's a math problem. It says, 14 plus 19 equals 33. Then it's like, I don't remember, it's times 2, and then it's, divide by 4, and then times this, on and on. You do the math equation, then you get to the kayaks, which have what do you call it? A little combination lock on there. Once you unlock that, you get in your kayak, you swim to the next checkpoint, and then we'll go from there.
But there's only 4.
There's only 4 kayaks, and there's 5 of you, so somebody is not going to get there.
It's tough. That's rough. I have some shit written down. Theo gets there first, but the number's wrong. He doesn't get it right.
Yeah, and then Turbo shows up, right?
Yep.
And Turbo gets it immediately.
Yeah.
And he takes off on his kayak.
He was writing shit down on the ground. Everybody kind of was a little bit.
Yeah, drawn in the sand. Mm-hmm. And then Turbo turns back to Theo to help him out. And Turbo does this countless times where he's helping out his enemies. Uh-huh. And he's helping out Theo. And he's like, 1, 2, 1 and 2. But he says it in his accent. And Theo hears 22. I think he was saying 1 and 2. But it sounded like 22. So Theo is putting 22 as like 4022, but it needed to be 40 or 1012, or I don't remember what the combination was.
Yeah.
But he was 1 digit off because he misunderstood Turbo, and Theo can't get it. Wes shows up.
Finally, he kind of walked through doing the math.
Yeah.
Well, no, he started walking, then he started jogging. He was just doing, and it was a great little montage moment where they had like the numbers through his head and shit, and it was all.
It was like Beautiful Mind.
It was a very beautiful mind, yes. And what else? Passes Theo. Oh yeah, he solves it. So now he's chasing Turbo. Ninja solves it. Now it's between Theo and.
Kara,
yeah. And this sucks because they both are trying it. They can't get it. I was kind of scared that maybe it was the lock, like some bullshit happened with the lock and it wouldn't work, because that was what he was saying at first. Like, these things are broken, the rubbish, And I was like, God damn it, if it is, that's gonna suck. Because when he went back to do the math, he came back and he didn't use that same padlock. He used something else. He made damn sure that.
Yeah.
But hey, guess what? Wait, Wes gets lost trying to find Turbo because Turbo gets to the end.
Yeah.
And it was a weird moment because it's like, obviously you got to follow him, follow your competition right there.
But Turbo was so fast and got there so fast that Wes lost him and couldn't figure out where it went ashore.
You mentioned the difference in forms, kayaking forms.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a kayak, and I kayak. Yeah. And just watching Turbo paddling, and I'm like, shit. I'm like, Turbo's done this before. I'm like, Turbo is like an excellent paddler. His form, it was very fluid. No motion loss. No energy is unspent. Like, he was really annihilating that kayak. In Wes, it seemed like he's very labored. And I'm like, I like the kayak portion at this point because they have done so much running, going up these sand dunes, which is like a stair stepper. That's exhausting on your quads. Your legs are so spent at that point. Now they're in a kayak. You get to use your arms. Upper body strength, finally. Mm-hmm. Something for upper body. So I was grateful of that. But yeah, Wes's technique was not as sharp as Turbo's. Really, Turbo's technique was amazing. Wes's and Natalie, we didn't even really see.
No, they didn't show her.
Theo's technique was not that good either.
But okay, so going back on the island though, one more padlock, Theo solves it. Kara takes off. She's like, "I'm going to do math again."
Yeah, because they were there together and they couldn't figure it out together. And then Theo's still trying it. Kara's like, oh, I'm gonna go do more math. Good luck good luck or whatever if you get it. And they're
So
good sports together because they were partners at the beginning of the season.
very true. But now, she's eliminated. She has fifth place. She's in fifth place now, right? She's
Yeah.
crying. She's like, "I'm done. I'm retired." But did she just like? Well, first of all, I laughed out loud when I saw it and rolled my eyes. And I was just
Yeah.
like, "You're never gonna retire. Just stop
Yeah.
it."
She's like, I can't do math. I'm gonna retire. She said, I feel like absolute shit. She's like, I shouldn't even win the money anyways because even if I had it, I couldn't count it.
I kind of like that
And,
line.
yeah, and I was like, 'cause she was dissing on herself, and I'm like, Kara, you're a good competitor. You're really good. You made it this far. Like, lose with a little bit of grace and dignity, and be like, you know what? I'm proud of myself. I didn't do good on the puzzle, the Connect Four, and I got the math wrong here, so I was eliminated. But Kara was amazing this entire season. She really was.
Yeah.
Like, as annoying as I find her, as a competitor, she's the best of the best when it comes to the females. And like, just I wanted Kara to be like, show your fan base like something to be proud of. Lose with grace, because like if you look at we're big UFC fans. You look at Conor McGregor when he loses, he always loses with grace. He gets on the microphone. He's like, "Yeah, tonight wasn't my night. I got to hand it to my opponents. They did a great job. They were the better man tonight. He's like, I have all the faith in myself, and I did my best, but I couldn't make it happen tonight, and that's too bad. I wanted Kara to have a little bit of that, where it's just like, I gave it my best, and it wasn't good enough tonight, but I will be back and I'll prove myself. I've done it in the past and I'll do it again.
That was her whole thing. She was like, "I was the first solo winner ever." And to be a female to do it, I had all these women saying like, "Oh my God, you mean so much to us for doing what you did and being a woman
Yeah.
and shit like that." So, but yeah, she's just kind of like, "Oh, I'm retired because I can't do this or whatever." No, you're not. We know you're a lifer, and
Yeah, it's your job.
you're a two-time champion. You're already in the record books as being one of the best of all time, and yeah, like I thought that you could still win against these dudes. I didn't think it really mattered. I really don't like this whole eliminating people within a final. It's such bullshit. I know that we should be used to it by now, but I still don't like it, and I still have to bring it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
I mean, you shouldn't eliminate someone that way. Okay, so moving on. Kara's gone.
Oh wait.
Oh, what?
Oh, maybe you were gonna say this whole thing. I'm just gonna say this really quick.
Okay.
Kara is not gonna win, right? Or she's eliminated.
She's eliminated.
She's not
Fifth place now.
her and her boyfriend Polly and Kyle. That whole giant storyline meant nothing overall. You know what I mean?
You're like referencing Game of Thrones.
Night King.
Talking about
this is the Night King scenario right here.
Okay,
Those
yeah, we've been
three.
building up since episode 1.
Right?
And then now for the actual final, the finish, they're not even there.
It took up so much time. This storyline of Kara and Polly versus Kyle and shit like that. Neither one of them make it to the top 4. Neither one of them place in the top 3. Wes, who's been having all these storylines and shit, he does get in the top 3. So it's just it really
Wes's
felt
storyline paid off.
Yes, yeah, there you go.
Turbo's did.
Yeah.
Theo.
He didn't really have a storyline, really.
No.
I mean, he was in the shadow of the Kara, Polly, Kyle.
Yeah.
thing.
Well, like, the reason Theo made it through the season was he had a great female partner in Kara, who always kind of protected him. People didn't want to call him out because Kara was so good and they did well together. But then also once they split up, he was part of the UK alliance. So we had the Kara and Polly alliance plus the UK alliance. Theo was very sheltered politically throughout this entire season, so he only went to the one elimination against Kyle.
Yeah.
So Theo kind of had an easy ride. He didn't have to kind of withstand much trials and tribulations.
I wouldn't say he had an easy ride, but his ride wasn't difficult at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was never in danger. He just had to win, and he did what it had to do. to do. I just have to, I'll let you continue talking. But Ninja said, I respected Kara, but she's a complainer. You know, like, this was the last dig. Ninja got the last dig in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kara's a complainer. Coming from Ninja, when you rewind a couple episodes and she's freaking out at Turbo, complaining about the, like, Turbo, you didn't listen to me. You didn't listen to me. You shouldn't have went back that time. Like, Ninja, you complain all the time too. Like, just don't just give it to Kara. Like, and it's weird. It was like all of a sudden, it was like this final. We just see Ninja and Kara just infighting
Yeah.
the last two girls. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Like, and Turbo was kind of upset. He's like, I feel bad for Kara.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I kind of felt bad for Kara too because she, out of all the girls, I don't know. I like her more than Ninja because I guess I've seen a greater body of work from Kara. So it kind of sucked that Kara wasn't there. But that is a good segue into my next point.
Okay.
Kara was not there because Theo got the padlock correct first. Let's rewind. Turbo gets it, and then Wes gets it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have three people left. You have Natalie, Theo, and Kara. Natalie gets it. And at that point, Natalie gets it. She knows the next person who gets it gets to come along, and the next person is automatic DQ. Natalie, Ninja, could have told Kara what the combination was, so Kara could have came along, gotten a kayak, and left Theo in the dust automatically eliminated. They knew that Theo was going to have a better time
Holy shit.
than either of them. They could have eliminated him, therefore elevating either Ninja or Kara into that top three, into the winning money.
Very true.
Ninja should have told her combination to Kara, so that way get rid of Theo.
Wow.
But she didn't. She just left. She didn't tell anyone the combination.
And it's not against the rules.
No.
Turbo tried to help.
In every final, there's always like that little situation where you can kind of control your fate a little bit.
Oh,
and Ninja, I think, screwed herself out of a little bit of money. Because I feel like she had better times than Kara. Right? What was day one?
She was ahead of...
Because day two, Kara might have had her by a little bit. Well, no, because on the Connect 4, she did bad.
She was ahead of Kara by 7 minutes at the end of day one.
Okay. And then there was the food thing, which Kara had a little bit of an advantage. But on the Connect 4, Ninja had a better advantage. So I think Ninja was still ahead because of the Connect 4 thing.
Yeah.
Like, Ninja should have told the password to Kara, get rid of Theo. That way, Ninja would have been, hey, she would have had $50,000. But, you know.
Yeah.
Ninja screwed it up, I think.
You know what? Let's talk about the actual ending of this final. It's very stop and go. Once Turbo got to that sunken ship or whatever, I feel like that should have been it. You know, done and done, even though that's bullshit.
Yeah,
but now,
and like Turbo helped Theo. Like, we tried to help him by telling him the last two digits of the combination. But then when Wes is coming in, Turbo is on the beach. He's waving like, Wes, over here, over here.
He's got flares out and shit.
Yeah, he's like waving at Wes. He's helping out his opponents again. And, you know, they cut to Turbo and he's like, you know, I'd rather, you know, like win like a Leon than you know, win like a chicken or lose like a chicken or something like that. He's like, I want to be a Leon. I love the way he says lion. You know, he calls it a Leon. I don't know. It's like Greek mythology. The way he says it. I think of like astrology and like the Leo. You know, because Leo is a lion.
Yeah.
That's why they call it a Leon.
Oh my god.
So I'm like, it makes sense to say it that way. I'm like, oh, it was so cool when he said that.
That was awesome. We get to the last sprint to the lighthouse, and I think we both decided off record that they're like, why do you have this last sprint? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's because you need the image of someone crossing the finish line. To
like
show
right
that
next
it's
to
over.
each other, too.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they do like one last little run of a mile or whatever. and you can see, Turbo and Theo are right next to each other, and then they both look at each other. They give a nod, and then they say, "Go," and they give it everything they have for that last little sprint.
That was awesome. I
Yeah,
like that.
it was a cool shot. I think the producers got it right. They set it up so we had that.
Listen, it looks great, but the writing's terrible. Very much Game of Thrones. Come on.
Yeah. I'm not arguing the finish, but how they got there.
Yeah. Let's see here. So overall, and then Ninja crosses. Wes crosses last. I was so proud of him. I was so proud of her. I was so amazed by Theo and Turbo. You know what I mean?
Like everybody that
This was
finished,
great.
and even though Kara didn't get to finish in that last little sprint, it's too bad for her.
Well, kayak. She didn't get to kayak.
Yeah, she didn't get to kayak and then do that last little sprint because Kara didn't quit or give up. Because Georgia, Maddie, Hunter, they all gave up. They just kind of threw down their sword and they gave up. They bent the knee. Kara did not do that. She couldn't get the math right on the problem. She couldn't get the combination, so she had to quit. So, good for Kara. She went all the way. She never gave up, and that's admirable of her.
Yeah, totally. So now it's announced 4th place Ninja. Whatever. Next time. Next, Wes. He gets 3rd place. He gets $50,000. He says, I'd like to thank my wife to let me hang with challenge hookers. Something like, what was the line? It was great.
He's like, I want to thank my wife for letting me come and spend 2 months with all these challenge hookers.
It's a great term. I love it. I think the new season should be like champs versus hookers or something.
Champs versus hookers.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be awesome.
Battle of the Sexes.
But I do.
Part 3.
Whoa.
Have they done part 2?
One.
Or...
Yeah, they did a part 2.
Okay.
$50,000, right, for 3rd place. That's a lot, considering I believe he won $50,000 in Rivals 2 when he won 1st place.
Whoa! And he had to split it.
And he had to split it. So,
he split 100,000 and got 50 of it. Yeah.
I think it was 50,000 for first. Honestly, I think it was.
Wow, this pennies.
Now, yeah. So that's crazy.
T-Mobile Sidekick. Like, come on, like they sponsored that season. They should have had a little bit of money for him.
If some people cannot consider Hunter a champion because he didn't get paid, Wes would have to be considered a champion because he got paid like a winner. You know what I mean? Like, he won Rivals 2 again. The same amount of prize money, except he doesn't have to split it.
These recent seasons, like the last 4 seasons, the prize money at the end is way more than it used to be. Yeah. This is season 33. It never used to be like this. You used to, like, barely get any money at the end.
Yeah.
Now, like, $50,000, we're all thinking, like, oh, that's, like, nothing, because everybody else got, like, $750,000 or $200,000. Like, $50,000 is a lot of money.
Theo gets 2nd place with $200,000, making Turbo the winner. More importantly, though, the babyface winner, and that is a wrestling term for the good guy, right?
Yeah, a good guy winner. And this final, I think it was mostly filled with good guys. There wasn't anybody that like you're super hating and rooting against. Well, there wasn't like a Paulie who like rubs everybody the wrong way, or Kyle who's kind of annoying at times, or a Bananas that kind of rubs everyone the wrong way.
Right.
Like, this was like the toughest final ever. It really seemed like, to me, it seemed like the toughest final ever. And everyone who finished, all 4, I'm even counting Kara because she didn't give up like the other ones did. They all did phenomenal.
Yeah. True. Well, technically, Hunter was eliminated.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, he gave up, though. I mean, I don't blame him. He had to stand next to Natalie. That'd be annoying to me, too.
I want to go back to, like, Turbo winning and the fact that this is a good guy, genuinely good guy winning.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen very often. It's usually the same assholes winning over and over again. Or people
Ashley Mitchell, super annoying winner.
You have to betray people. Yeah.
She got kicked off the show. She couldn't even show up to the reunion show where they announced the winner of that season.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right.
It was like TJ accepted her money on her behalf because MTV banished her for stealing a golf cart.
And punching a producer.
We didn't see that on tape.
They made it up. They're like, listen, that's Bunham's favorite golf cart.
So
of him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to say, fan edit. When I kept on saying like Turbo, the producers give him these special effects when he's doing his thing.
You could tell this from like episode 3 or 4 this season.
Yeah.
Turbo always got like these amazing edits. Everything he did was like a superhero. He was like Dragon Ball Z and shit.
Oh yeah.
Like it was awesome.
And like we've had experience of this before. I remember they gave Sarah Rice a fan edit in Battle of the Axis 2.
Yeah.
You know, they really had to take her and Jordan's terrible relationship and turn it into a positive. You know, make them seem better than everyone else. You know.
Yeah, that was one of it might have been the first season I ever watched, and it was like when it was live on air. And Sarah was amazing. I loved her that season. You're like, no, she has a really good edit. And it was like when someone wins, the production knows that and they edit the entire season to make that person look better.
All right, now the season is over. We're done. We
I think we're done here.
Like, subscribe, comment. This was Battle of Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud
And Hardcore Dave.